Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I am your host, Brett McCollum, and I'm here today with Janeisha Farquharson. And today we're going to be talking about life insurance. Before we do, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs to 2 to 5x their businesses to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted and live the lives they've always dreamed of. Without further ado, Janeisha, how are you?
I'm doing really good. How are you? And thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm great. Thanks so much for being here. I have enjoyed tremendously getting to know you these last few minutes before the show started. And I'm honest to goodness, I'm really excited to talk to you about like life insurance and everything that way. But before we get into all the things, let's do this. Let's back up a little bit, rewind, catch the people up to speed. Let's tell us a little bit about who is Janeisha? How did you get here today?
So Janeisha is just a girl from Brooklyn, New York, raised in, I want to say, a 2-family household, but my family had me, my mom and dad had me when they were really young. So I was raised by my grandmother, raised in an entrepreneurial household, and I actually got into the insurance business after the pandemic when I graduated from college and everything was frozen, nobody was hiring, and the opportunity came to me to get into the insurance business. And it was something that I was always wanting to do in terms of, following my entrepreneurial spirit that I seen growing up in my household. And now I'm here, and now I primarily work with real estate investors to help them not only protect their portfolios, but also scale it using life insurance strategies.
Very cool. So let's back up a little bit. Raised more or less, you said, by grandmother, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned that in an entrepreneurial type of home. What did that look like? What does that mean?
So my grandmother had multiple businesses. So first, she was a chef, so she had her own restaurant. She also had a event space, like a club space. So she had like one mixed use property that she had a restaurant in, and then she would rent out the tenants. And then she also had another property like 2 blocks away, also in Brooklyn, New York, where she would rent out people for like parties, baby showers. It was a really nice space. And also, we lived in a nice 2-family home. My brothers, my uncles, everybody in the house all together. And she was the primary breadwinner. And she basically built and did a lot of it herself. And I grew up seeing that. And, I grew up seeing like, okay, this is possible. And, I like this lifestyle that she provided. So I would also like to provide that for my family as well. That she just showed me that it was possible.
Yeah. What an incredible opportunity, right? To look at, in representation to have that, that like this is what's real. I'm going to ask you a question though. We did not talk about this though. I was saving it. You ready?
What's that? I'm ready.
I know young Brett. I was
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
I didn't really know what I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like when you're young, you're naive, you're immature potential. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did you always realize like what grandma did as far as the entrepreneurial side? Were you always aware of it, or was it later in life that you really go, this is how this happened? Did you have it? What did that look like?
I would say naivety is correct. She made it look easy. Let's just say that. She made it look real easy. And I was born after most of the hard work was done.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. So I just got to, reap the benefits of when, the business cycle was on the high end.
Okay.
And I think that as I stepped more into my own entrepreneurial journey and insurance and real estate, I really started to see like, wow, this is a grind. This is a lifestyle.
Yeah. Have you had a chance to sit down with grandma and talk about that since?
No, but she knows that I'm grateful. Like I haven't like really sat down with her and like just told her like, oh, like I know how hard you work. Like she knows, and she's very old school, like Jamaican from the island. And I don't know if you know, they're hard-headed.
I mean,
They're hard-headed.
I have a friend, he's Jamaican, and that holds true for him too. She
was raised in the country, and
yeah. But I mean, to that end though, like that's where I would imagine how you get stuff done. You know what I mean? Like that stubborn spirit of like, there are no such things as excuses. We just do it.
Right. And, she succeeded at a time when it was like way more prejudice in America with less resources. And now it's like, we really have no excuses,
Yeah, man, I would love to be a fly on the wall and sit down and hear like that conversation. I think that would be so cool to like, how did you do that? Because it is not to say that it's hard today, of course, like it is. But like that experience for her, I would love to hear that. Like when you started, what did that like? Was it scary? How did you get through it? Why did you do it? All those things. I want like,
right.
Like, oh my gosh, I have so many questions. But you getting to live in that environment, even like that osmosis of just being around, the exposure to it is really, it's a cool thing, to sit back and see that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely learned a lot of good work ethic for sure.
Yeah.
Drive.
Yeah. So let's catch up a little bit. So you graduate high school and then you go into college. Did you always through college, did you know I'm going to land on insurance, or what was that going through college? What was that like?
Absolutely not. To be honest, I don't really care that much about insurance.
Okay.
And I didn't even know much about insurance because when you're younger in college, insurance, people think about death and, obviously, providing for their family, God forbid if something were to happen to them. So I never got to that stage in life yet. I have no kids. So I did not think about insurance at all. You know what I mean? When I was in college and high school, well, I'll take you back even more. When I was in like middle school to high school, I would say I wanted to be like a math teacher because I was really good at math.
Okay.
And I really liked my math teachers. Like we used to hang out at lunchtime together while all the kids were in like recess. I would like stay with the teachers and like we would have lunch together. And then high school, I started to want to own and start my own business, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? I was just like,
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Damn, like, what am I good at? Like, so I started to try to figure that out. And then in college, I went to Baruch College and I really wanted to study business management just so I could learn about business, obviously, right? And it was a really good business school. I took business classes even though I wasn't in the business department. My degree is in business communications.
Okay.
And yeah, I just felt like I was figuring that out mostly. And then when, pandemic happened, that's when I graduated from college. That's when this opportunity presented itself for me to actually learn business, find ways to add value to others. And insurance was the vehicle for that for me. And eventually I just started to really enjoy it. The relationships that I built with my clients were really tight knit. I'm going to baby showers, weddings, and saying happy anniversary. So we really became really close, and I feel like my business now is really about serving others
Yeah.
mostly.
Yeah, I love that. It's not how do I say this right? It's not insurance, because like you said, insurance is just, it is what it is. It's the relationships, right?
Yeah, it's a relationship, but I say when I say I don't care about insurance, I mean I don't care about the product itself. We all care about what it can do. I care
Yeah.
about what it does for my clients. I don't care about the product itself.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. Because I mean, that's what I hear from you is it's what it can do, but for people that I can serve,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
that level of service has obviously worked for you because it's led to the, weddings and anniversaries and baby showers. And, that's not normal, by the way, Janeisha, to be like, hey, hey, insurance agent, do
Yeah,
you
I know.
want
Do you invite your insurance agent to your baby shower? Not really.
that's kind of weird, right? But not for you, because I'm, you're building real relationships that
Yeah.
transcend the insurance product, right? It's not about that. I love that you did that. That's incredible. Good for you.
Thank you.
Question. And I'm just very curious, because you being in what I would call ground zero during COVID, right?
Yes.
And coming out of college and all that, what was that experience like living there? Because I know for me in Florida, an entirely different experience than what you must have went through in New York.
So the question is, what was the experience like for
Yeah,
me living
because
in New York during the pandemic?
well, kind of coming out and trying to start your life, right?
Oh, Jesus. And you know what? I'm very nitpicky, right? And what I mean by that, Brett, is that I worked really, really hard to graduate in 2020. Meaning
Okay.
I took extra classes because I wanted an even number on my diploma. Who told me to do that? But I would
You're not.
say just a lot of unknown,
Yeah.
it's a lot of unknown. Toilet paper out in the store, everybody's stacking up on toilet paper like it's the end of the world. Um, but pretty much just like everybody else, we were still connected by social media and our phone, but definitely isolated from others. So I think it was a bit of isolation, a lot of unknown, just like everywhere else. But I don't know. I feel like maybe it was kind of similar to everybody else in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Florida did a lot more with trying to open things back up, maybe even before some other places did, right? And even within that, local municipalities inside of Florida had some different rules as well.
Right.
And
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And that, I mean, good or bad, it depends, depending on which side you fall on. That's not what we're here for. I'm just more curious about, like, all right, like you said, the unknown, and you're graduating, and I'm starting my life into this world that I have no idea what's coming.
Don't remind me.
And I see you're hanging your head. Like, so, like, was that stress like real at that point? Like,
It was real, because it was just like, you can't really pity yourself in a way, because, people have graduated during like the great financial crisis, the subprime mortgage market in 2008. So like, you going through something, you feel like, oh my God, this has never happened before. I'm special, but I really wasn't, because it's happened to a lot of other people. Right. So really what I did was I just basically cracked down. I was applying for a lot of jobs, doing a lot of different things just to, like, progress during the interview process virtually. And I got a lot of declines, probably like hundreds. Nobody wanted to hire me.
I get that, I mean, when you're in that entrepreneurial mind, it's hard,
Yeah. I thought I was going to be working at first, but, life took me in a different direction. And, I was just like, okay, if I'm working as an insurance agent for, this large insurance company, this is an opportunity for me to learn business, which is something that I always wanted to do. And really see if I can, produce, because, when you work for somebody and exchanging your time for money, you could do the bare minimum and get paid, right? Whereas if you have your own business, you're paid based on your results and, how well you can execute. So I'm like, okay, I'm betting on myself that I can execute now. And that was a scary thing to do.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that, because that's actually a really good point. So you're working with this larger organization.
Yeah.
But it is still the phrase that they say in sales, you can only eat what you kill, right?
Right. You eat what you kill. Absolutely. Yes.
And you're coming out of this whole, the pandemic, you're coming out of COVID, you're coming out of all this stuff, all this unknown. And now and by the way, now, Janeisha, you have to now you can only eat what you kill.
Eat what you kill. Yeah.
Whoa. How did you learn? Was that always within you? Was that something that was a learned behavior? What do you think?
I had to figure it out, right? And I was learning as I go. I think that what I enjoyed the most about it was that when I was in college, a lot of it was, lecture, notes, read book, memorization. Now I'm learning more tactically, the way how I speak to people, the way how I present what I offer, all really mattered now. And, I'm learning on the fly, and I'm like reiterating as I go to get better and, grow my business and find different ways to market myself and speak and educate people. So, the way how I did it was also by, leaning on other people that I know. I really started with family and friends. Then I started to do like different workshops at, the libraries, and, I spoke on different panels and, just different things to educate people and get my my voice and my brand and what I offer out there. And it worked, I would say. Now I thought I was able to grow my business where I was able to go out on my own. I left the insurance company that I was working with before, because I know you said you worked at Nationwide prior to the interview. And, when you work for a company, you can only sell their products. Whereas I felt I would be more aligned with my clients' needs if I stepped more into my own business as a broker so that I can, shop around for my clients and get them the best deal and not, be on the insurance company side. I want to be more aligned with my clients and what they need.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue there. I love that. So
Mhm.
you had some, you had the experience, you got some, working real life, experience in an organization. You realize this is something that I want to go into business for myself with to
Mhm.
provide for my clients. Today, what does the business look like for you today? You've got you're running your own business. What does it look like? What are you doing?
So today it's very different.
Hmm.
So now I went through the process of vetting a lot of different insurance companies in America, like, the top ones, Prudential, and, the nationwides of the world to kind of see, okay, who is going to offer my clients the best. So I
Right.
did that first and built those relationships with those insurance companies. And I also have like my back office teams that, helps me structure policies for my clients, helped me with, providing with recommendations and different things like that. And really, my main job right now is really being a consultant to my clients. So, sitting with them, seeing what their problems are, what is there a problem here? And sometimes I have to turn people away if I don't think that I can help them. And I couldn't do that before. I felt
Right.
very pressured to like push a product, push a sale. So now I feel way more at ease and at peace with my business now.
I love that. Yeah. Peace is a big deal. It really, I mean, it really,
Yes, absolutely.
really is. It's probably the most undervalued thing in that any of us can. We just think work is everything. No, peace is better. Yeah.
Peace is better. Absolutely. Your peace
Yeah.
and happiness.
I truly. We talked a little, kind of previously, and before we recorded too, about
Hmm.
the different types of products that, because a lot of our audience may have heard of, life insurance, and most people think of term, and they might just know a little bit about whole, but maybe for the investor, what is what are a few of the products, a couple of things that you think that you've seen and had success with for the investors you've worked with?
Yeah, so for investors, they tend to need something that's, more longer term and that can benefit them while they're living. People think life insurance and they think death. And I used to think that too. Um, so I think that as far as products, it depends on where you are and what your goals are. So it's very important that you work with, insurance agent, broker, whoever it is that is going to actually determine and, ask you the right questions to find out what exactly is the need or what's the gaps in your planning that, maybe an insurance product could fill, maybe or maybe not. We don't know until, you actually speak with them. And I would say, there's term, which basically stands for temporary insurance, right? That's how I like to think about it. And it's similar to like renting an apartment. Like with the apartment, you have a lease, you're there for, I don't know, a year, 2 years. And then after the lease is up, you either renew it or you got to get out, right?
Yeah.
And it's very similar to term. So you can basically rent the insurance for 10, 20, sometimes even 30 years, and that provides you with some type of protection, God forbid, if something were to happen to you, right? And yeah, so term insurance is like renting an apartment. You can rent it for 10, 20, or 30 years. And then, the thing about term insurance is that, if you don't pass away within that allotted time, there is no money that's paid out,
Right.
right? So that is the risk that you run with term insurance. And then the one that, most investors tend to use is the whole life. And, there's a lot of talk about, infinite banking on social
Right.
media, borrow from yourself, buy 5 properties, make 5K a month. It's not like that at all. I don't particularly like the marketing of infinite banking
Yeah.
on social media. I feel like it's super misleading. I think the biggest misconception is that people think that, oh, you put money into a policy and you borrow from it in 30 days or 90
Right.
days for your
How
next
long do you have
flip
to
or
borrow? Yeah.
yeah, and it's not true. So life insurance is a more of a long term, financial tool for yourself.
Right.
right? So there are products out there, don't get me wrong, that do allow you to borrow up to 90% of
Okay.
your cash value of what you put in within a year, right?
Within a year.
However, don't recommend my clients do that because you don't really see the full, strength of the policy because it hasn't fully matured and grown. It's like you invest $10,000, in a year into your investment account and next year you take it out. You haven't given the money a chance to grow and accumulate and really benefit you the way it's supposed to long term. So on the whole life side, which is what people really talk about in terms of infinite banking, permanent policies that stay with you for your entire life that you will most likely use.
Hmm.
Some people live forever. I don't know. Some people think that. There's permanent life insurance. That one you just, it's a set rate you pay. Depending on the insurance company you work with, you may be eligible for dividends, which increases your cash value over time.
Right.
And that tends to grow at a fixed rate. So as long as you're living, it's growing and compounding. Um, and you can borrow from your insurance policy to fix that toilet when your renter calls that it's broken. I've had clients do that. Boilers are very expensive. Maybe you need to do a renovation or maybe a down payment on a house. So you have that flexibility with permanent insurance to use it for different things like that.
Okay.
And then there is the IUL. So that's the one that's most popular on social media for infinite banking.
Hmm.
That one is different from the whole life in that you're in your cash value that's accruing interest similar to the whole life is growing based on the S&P's 500, right? So as the S&P 500 has positive gains, you get credited those gains into your cash value. So that could give you a little bit more growth compared to the fixed instrument one, right?
Hmm.
The drawback with the IUL is that you are capped on how much interest you get on your cash value, depending on the type of policy that you get. So all the insurance carriers are different. Some credit you 8%, 6%, depending on if the S&P is doing positive growth. But the positive is that if the S&P is negative, like right now with Trump and these tariffs and everything that's going on, you don't lose any money. So you have downside protection. And people, psychologically like that. Like
Sure.
people don't like the idea of losing money. So that is, good for, the certain type of investor. And there's also another permanent whole life policy called variable universal life. And that one is you get the full swings of the market. So if the market gets 30%, you get 30%. If
Yeah.
the market is negative 16, your account is down, your cash value is down negative 16%. So there's more risk, but also more reward with that one. But most of the people that I work with tend to go with the IUL. And it's very good for the investor who's looking for mainly long-term growth and protection for their
Right.
portfolio and to essentially pass on assets tax-free.
Right. That's incredible. Man, that's a masterclass right there for a minute. And that, what a great breakdown. Yeah. I tend to hear people in our circle, they just call it whole life, but I think what they're probably saying is the IUL based
Mm-hmm.
on the description that you
Mm-hmm.
gave.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you could break that down because a lot of people are like, you should be doing the whole life thing, da, 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 and then you
Yeah.
hear,
So I mean,
yeah.
I think that it's like a technical difference. They're both permanent products. Whole life is more, I think it's a little bit more popular for people to say whole life
Mhm.
than like the IUL. And IUL just stands for Index Universal Life. So the difference between the whole life and the universal life is the whole life has the fixed interest. Like I told you, it doesn't track the S&P and it has a lot less flexibility. With the IUL, you're tracking the S&P 500 and you can also um, put in less money or you can put in more money into that.
Mhm.
So you have a little bit more flexibility, which is good, especially for business owners or new investors who are just starting out. And, they may not know what they're going to make in the next 3 or 6 months.
Right.
And they may need to be able to put in a little bit less or they may need to put a little bit more. Um, you know, because, the whole life is really a big commitment. You have to be able to maintain putting in X amount of dollars, whatever you have set for yourself for the rest of your life. And, life is unpredictable. You may go into financial hardship, things happen, life happens. So the IUL could be good in terms of the flexibility that it provides to kind of like move with you as life changes.
Yeah. Really incredible. If people want to reach out at some point and connect with you, get to know you a little bit better and what you do, what do you think, what's the best way for that to happen, for them to connect?
Actually, the best way to reach me is actually on my Instagram.
Yeah.
My Instagram is I am Janeisha _. So that's I am JANEISHA _. And that's probably the easiest way to reach me. And in my bio, you can see like my email and also a link to, schedule like a free consult with me if you have any questions or want to see if the IUL or the whole life or any of these products is even a right fit for you and what you're looking to accomplish.
Yeah. We'll make sure we get that into the show notes too, for you guys, in case you were driving and you can't write things down. It'll be in the show notes. But thank you for doing this, Janeisha, because this is really incredible information. I think on the investor side, knowing what different options that we have that are out there, the more you know, the better we are, right? And being able to connect people with you, like you, to they actually serve, and get invited to the baby shower and get invited, like what an incredible opportunity for you guys that are listening to connect with somebody that's actually going to care about you. So thanks for being here.
Yeah. And I would say, if you already, some people that I speak to, sometimes they already have an insurance product already. They have a whole life or they have an IUL and, they don't know if it's performing as, they wanted to based on what they were hoping or what they hear on social media. So that's something me and my team could look at to even, make sure that it's doing what you want it to do.
Love that.
Yeah, that's probably like, I see that a lot. I look at a lot of policies. We look at a lot of different policies and see, what's going on. And another thing too, is if you are working, I would say if you're working with an insurance agent at, any of the, companies in America, I think that the value that me and my team bring is that we can definitely shop around with you to make sure that you're getting the best. Because a lot of times you have to work with one agent here and then work with another agent at another company and another agent at another company to kind of see who's going to give you the best. Because ultimately it's your money and it should be working hard for you. So we could kind of do that one-stop shop for you and just really make sure that you're getting the best and the best value for what you're looking for.
Incredible. Yeah, this has really been great, Janeisha. I wish we could, keep things going. But thanks for doing this. We're going to have all of the information in the show notes. Guys, I strongly encourage you to reach out and connect. Just even if it's nothing more than to get more information, right?
Any questions you have?
Yeah. And this is, phenomenal. So thanks for being here with us today. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I had a great conversation with you.
Yeah, phenomenal. All right. Well, guys, this has been a great episode. I appreciate you guys taking the time and spending with us, and we will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.